I stared at the wooden table. The plates sat empty, mocking us. My stomach growled, but I stayed silent. "Stephen," my mom whispered, forcing a smile, "drink some water. It helps." I clenched my fists. "Mom, you didn't eat yesterday. Don't lie to me. You're starving." She coughed softly, waving me off. Mothers don't starve. They watch their children grow strong. "Strong?" I snapped. "How can I grow strong when we have nothing? Look at you. You're sick, pale. All because of me." Her eyes softened. "Because of love, not because of you. Don't ever confuse the two." I bit my lip, fighting back tears. "I hate this. I hate watching you suffer while neighbors laugh at us." From outside, voices rang. "There goes the widow and her useless son," one woman sneered. Another laughed. "Always begging, never working." I wanted to run outside, shout until my throat broke, but my mom touched my hand gently. "Stephen, let it go." "How can I?" I growled. "They spit on us like we're dirt. I should fight them." Her voice shook, yet she held firm. "No, fighting makes you like them. We're poor, yes, but we're not worthless. Don't give them the power to poison your heart." I looked at her thin arms trembling as she tried to stand. "You're killing yourself. At that sewing job. Every night you cough blood. Why don't you stop?" She laughed weakly. "If I stop, how will we eat? You think the world feeds the weak? No, Stephen. The world takes and takes. We survive because we endure." I slammed my fist on the table. "I'll work. I'll do anything. I'll beg if I have to." Her tone sharpened, rare and firm. "You will not beg." I froze. "Then what?" "Watch you collapse." She sat down slowly, clutching her chest. "You don't understand? Pride is all we have left. When your father left, he didn't just take money, he tried to take my dignity. I refused to give that to anyone else." The words stung like knives. "My father's shadow haunted me daily." I whispered, "Why did he leave us?" She stared at the floor. "Because he was weak. Because greed blinded him. Because he didn't see the treasure standing in front of him." "Mew?" I shook my head. "Treasure?" "Mom, I can't even buy you medicine." "You will," she said, softly one day. "Not with coins in your pocket, but with the strength in your heart. You'll rise, Stephen." Her certainty hurt more than doubt. "Don't promise yourself false hope," I muttered. "The world doesn't care about us." She leaned closer, her frail fingers brushing my cheek. "Then you make the world care. Don't let it break you." "Promise me something." "What?" I asked. "No matter how hard life gets, no matter who betrays you, don't abandon me." I swallowed hard. I'd rather die first. Tears welled in her eyes. "Good. Then we can survive this storm together." Silence filled the room, broken only by her coughs. I hated that sound more than hunger itself. "Mom," I whispered, "I swear. One day I'll make them regret mocking us. I'll make the world remember your sacrifices." She smiled faintly, though pain lined her face. "I don't need the world to remember. I just need you to live with honor." I pressed my forehead against hers, holding her fragile shoulders. "Then I'll do both for you." That night, we drank water instead of eating. My stomach twisted in pain. But the weight in my chest was heavier as I lay on the floor beside her, listening to her shallow breaths. I whispered to myself, "Empty plates don't scare me. Losing her does, and I will never, ever let that happen." The cold crept into our bones that night. Mom rubbed her hands together, trying to keep warm, but the firewood was gone. Our stomachs growled louder than the wind. "Stephen," she whispered, "don't worry. Tomorrow will be better." I shook my head. "You said that yesterday, the day before." "We have nothing left, Mom, not even rice." She forced a smile, but her lips trembled. "A mother's hope is food enough," I snapped. "Hope doesn't fill our stomachs. You're coughing blood and I can't do anything. I hate this life." Suddenly, a knock echoed on the door. We froze. "No one visited us at night," I whispered. "Should I open it?" Her eyes widened. "Be careful." I slowly pulled the door open. A tall man stood there, wrapped in a long coat. Snow clung to his shoulders. His eyes softened when they met mine. "Good evening," he said gently. I saw no smoke from your chimney. Are you all right?" I hesitated. "We're fine." Behind me, my mom's weak voice called, "Stephen, who is it?" The man leaned slightly to see her, then stepped forward. "Please forgive me for intruding. My name is Aaron. I was passing through, and I thought you might need help." I narrowed my eyes. "Why would you think that?" I opened the bag. In his hands, the smell of warm bread hit me like a miracle. My stomach growled loudly, betraying me. Aaron smiled kindly, because hunger has a sound. My mom's eyes filled with tears. "Sir, is that for us?" He nodded. "Yes, bread, soup, and some coins. Please, take it." I stepped back, suspicious. "Why? What do you want from us?" He placed the bag on the table without hesitation. "Nothing. Just eat. You both look like you haven't had a proper meal in days." My mom broke into sobs, covering her face. "God must have sent you." Aaron shook his head softly. "No, ma'am. I'm just a man who can share a little." I clenched my fists. "People don't just help strangers. Not here. So why us?" He looked me straight in the eye. "Because once, I was where you are. Hungry, desperate, and someone helped me. I promised myself I'd do the same for others." His words disarmed me. My chest tightened. Mom reached for his hand, trembling. "Bless you. You don't know what this means to us." Aaron gently placed the bread in her hands. "Eat first, then we'll talk." I watched as she tore the bread and handed me the bigger piece. "Stephen, eat?" I shook my head. "You first." Aaron chuckled softly. "To argue like every mother and son? Share it equally." We sat, devouring the food like starving wolves. Tears burned my eyes with every bite. "Slow down," Aaron urged. "Hey, there's plenty more." When I finally looked up, my mom's cheeks were wet with tears. "Thank you, Mr. Aaron. No one has ever shown us such kindness." He smiled. "Call me Aaron, and don't thank me. Thank the one who once helped me. I'm just continuing the chain." I whispered almost to myself, "You're like an angel." He raised a brow. "An angel? No, just human. But sometimes, humans need to be each other's angels." His words sank deep into me. "Why here, though?" I asked. "There are others who suffer." He leaned back, his gaze steady. "Because fate brought me to this door tonight. And because I saw your mother's eyes. Eyes of someone who refuses to give up." Mom cried harder, covering her face again. Aaron placed a few coins on the table. "This won't solve everything, but it will help. Buy medicine, food, firewood." Grabbed his wrist. "Why trust us with this? We're nothing to you." He placed his other hand over mine. "You're not nothing. Remember that." I swallowed hard, my throat burning. I won't forget this. Ever." His smile widened. "Good. Then one day when you're strong, help someone else. That's all I ask," my mom whispered. "You already feel like family." Aaron's eyes softened. Maybe that's what we were meant to be tonight, family in the cold. When he finally left, the house felt warmer, though the fire was still out. I looked at my mom. She whispered through her tears, "Stephen, we met an angel." I clenched the bread in my hand. I'll never forget him. Never. The days after Aaron's visit felt unreal. The first time in years, the house smelled of food. My mom's face carried color instead of exhaustion. One morning, he knocked again. I rushed to the door. "Mr. Aaron," he raised a hand. "I told you, just Aaron." "Right?" I said, embarrassed. "Aaron, what brings you here?" He smiled, checking in. "May I?" I stepped aside. Of course, Mom was mending a shirt by the window. When she saw him, her eyes lit up. "Aaron, you've come again?" He chuckled. "Make it sound like a surprise?" She lowered her sewing. "For people like us, kindness is always a surprise." He grew quiet, then handed her a small basket, fruits and milk. "Doctor said good nutrition helps with coughs." Her lips trembled. "You remembered?" Aaron shrugged. "Of course. What use is wealth if not for this?" I blurted, "Why are you doing this for us?" He looked straight at me. Because I see myself in you. That answer stuck in my chest. Mom gestured to the chair. Sit, please. As he sat, he glanced at me. Stephen, do you want to earn something today? I straightened. Earn. How? I need help fixing a fence at my place. Strong hands like yours could finish it faster. Nodded quickly. Yes, I'll do it. Mom frowned. He's still young, Aaron. I was younger when I worked. In fields, he replied gently. Better he learns dignity in work than helplessness in waiting. I looked at her. Mom, please. I want to help. She sighed, then smiled faintly. Go then, but take care. Aaron's house stood on the edge of town, larger than any place I'd seen. Still, it wasn't flashy. Felt lived and warm. Wow, I whispered. He noticed my awe. It's just a house, Stephen. Walls mean nothing without people, I asked. Do you live alone? He hesitated. Yes, my wife passed years ago. We never had children. I lowered my gaze. I'm sorry. He patted my shoulder. Life takes, life gives. Today, it gives me your company. We worked on the fence together. My hands blistered, but his steady encouragement kept me going. Good grip, he said as I hammered. I grinned through the sweat. Feels good to be useful. That's the spirit. By noon, we sat under a tree sharing bread and cheese. He asked, How old are you, Stephen? 17. 17. He stared into the distance. At 17, I was homeless. People spat at me, called me worthless. But one man gave me work, and that saved me. I swallowed hard. Is that why you helped me? Yes. Because I know what it means to be hungry and invisible, I whispered. I don't feel invisible with you. His eyes softened. Good, that's how it should be. When I returned home that evening with a few coins in my pocket, Mom's eyes widened. You earned this? I nodded proudly. Worked on his fence. Aaron said I did well. She hugged me tight. Stephen, I can breathe easier knowing you're learning from him, I whispered into her shoulder. Mom, he treats me like a son. She pulled back, eyes wet. Maybe God finally gave you the father figure you deserve. Weeks passed in this rhythm. Aaron visited often, sometimes with food, sometimes just to talk. He taught me how to fix tools, chop wood, and manage money. One evening, while walking me home, he asked, Do you trust me, Stephen? I nodded. With my life, he smiled sadly. Then promise me something. No matter what happens, keep caring. For your mother, she is your anchor. I promise, I said firmly. Good, because she deserves a son who won't abandon her. That night, as Mom and I ate the stew he'd sent, she said softly, Stephen, I see how you look at him. I blinked. How? Like you finally have someone who believes in you. I set my spoon down. Is it wrong to feel that way? She shook her head. No, my son, it's beautiful. Just don't fear it. Omitted. I'm scared it'll vanish. What if one day he stops coming? What if this is just a dream? She touched my cheek. Then remember, dreams can guide us even after they end. Lying awake that night, I replayed Aaron's words, his steady gaze, his faith in me. My chest felt heavy with two truths, the joy of being seen and the fear of losing it. I whispered into the darkness, Please, don't let this end. Asterisk. Aaron's kindness had become a rhythm in my life. He visited often, brought work for me, and always checked on my mom. For the first time, I felt stable, safe. But safety, I learned, draws eyes. One afternoon, Aaron invited me to his home again. Stephen, he said warmly, I want you to meet some of my family. They're visiting. I hesitated. Your family? Yes, he nodded. No need to. Be nervous. Just be yourself. I swallowed hard, unsure what myself would mean to them. Inside, the air shifted. Two young people sat in the parlor. A tall boy with sharp eyes leaned against the sofa, while a girl, softer in demeanor, flipped through a book. Aaron gestured. Stephen, this is Caleb, my nephew, and Emily, his sister. Caleb looked me over, smirking. So this is the boy? Aaron frowned. This is Stephen. Show respect. Emily gave me a polite smile. Hello. I nodded. Nice to meet you both, Caleb muttered. Just loud enough. Didn't know we were keeping charity cases now. The words stung, but I forced a smile. I just help Aaron with some work. Aaron's voice sharpened. He's more than that, Caleb. He's hardworking, dependable. Caleb rolled his eyes. Sure, dependable when you're handing him food and coins. Emily shot him a glare. Stop it. But the damage was done. My stomach twisted. Later, as I helped Aaron carry some tools outside, I asked quietly, why does he hate me? Aaron sighed. Jealousy. Caleb thinks too much about money, inheritance, things that don't matter yet. Inheritance. Ain't. Repeated. Aaron paused, then gave a sad smile. I've built much, Stephen. My relatives wonder who I'll leave it to. They fear anyone close to me. My chest tightened. I don't want his money. I just want to help you to learn. I know. Aaron said firmly, and that's why I trust you. That evening, as I walked past the parlor, I heard whispers. Caleb's voice. Unbelievable. Uncle treating that beggar's son like family. Emily murmured, He's kind, Caleb. Why do you care so much? Because kindness costs us everything. Caleb snapped. What if Uncle leaves? Him something? What about us? Emily sighed. You're obsessed with wealth. And he isn't. Caleb scoffed. Look at him, hungry eyes, pretending to be grateful. Mark my words, Emily. He's after Uncle's fortune. My hands clenched. The words. Cut deeper than knives, beggar son. Pretending. I stepped back before they noticed me, my chest burning with shame. At home, Mom noticed my silence. Stephen, she said softly, what troubles you? I hesitated. Do you? Ever feel like people look at us and only see poverty? Her eyes saddened. Many do. But their eyes don't define who we are. I swallowed. They called me beggar's son. Her hand gripped mine tightly. Are my son, honest, brave, and kind. Don't let their poison make you forget that. Tears stung my eyes, but I nodded. I won't. The next day, Aaron found me repairing a broken chair at his place. Stephen, he said gently. I heard what Caleb said. I froze. You did? Yes. His expression hardened. I won't tolerate disrespect in my house. I shook my head. Please don't fight with him because of me. He's family. I'm not. Aaron crouched, looking me in the eye. Family isn't just blood. Sometimes it's choice. Do you understand? I whispered. I want to believe that. Then, believe it, he said firmly. Still, Caleb's words haunted me. Every glance from him felt sharp, accusing. At meals, he'd mutter under his breath. One evening, while Emily set the table, Caleb sneered, Careful, sister. Don't serve the beggar first. He might think he owns the house. I clenched my fists but stayed quiet. Emily slammed the dish. Down. Enough, Caleb. Do you hate someone who's done nothing wrong? He's done everything wrong, Caleb spat. By existing where he doesn't belong. The words sank deep, but I forced myself to breathe, to stay silent, walking. Home later, Emily caught up to me. Stephen, she said softly. I'm sorry for Caleb. He's difficult. I managed a faint smile. You don't need to apologize for him, but I want to, she insisted. He's wrong about you. Her kindness eased the weight on my chest. Thank you, Emily. That means more than you know. That night, as I lay awake, Caleb's voice echoed in my head. Beggar's son, pretending. I turned to my mom's sleeping figure. Her breathing shallow, yet peaceful. I don't care what they call me, I whispered. As long as you're safe, and Aaron believes in me, I'll endure it. But deep inside, a shadow lingered. Caleb's envy wasn't just words. It felt like the beginning of something darker. Whispers have a way of growing louder than truth. I learned that the hard way. It started with Caleb's sneers at Aaron's house. But soon, neighbors began looking at me differently. Their glances weren't curious anymore, they were suspicious. One afternoon, while fetching water, I overheard two women. "Have you heard? That boy is twisting Mr. Aaron around his finger, manipulating him, they say. A clever way to secure a rich man's fortune." My chest tightened.
Nice.
So Caleb's poison has spread at home? Mom noticed my unease. "Stephen," she asked gently, "why are you so quiet?" I sat by the window. "People are talking, they think I'm using Aaron." Her face fell. "Who told them that?" "Caleb," I muttered. Her hands trembled. "That boy's envy knows no end. You must be careful. What can I do?" I asked bitterly. "If I speak, they'll twist it more. If I stay silent, they'll believe him." Mom reached for my hand. "Then stay true. Lies fall apart, but truth endures." I wanted to believe her, but fear lingered. Days later, Aaron called me over. "Stephen," said, studying me closely, "you've been distant? Is something wrong?" I forced a smile. "Nothing, sir. Just tired." He frowned. "Don't lie." "To me, I can see it." I lowered my gaze. "It's hard to explain." "Try," Aaron insisted. My throat tightened. "People think I'm only here for your wealth, that I'm manipulating you." Aaron's eyes darkened. "Who said this?" Hesitated. "It doesn't matter." "It does," he pressed. I shook my head. "Please don't ask. I don't want to cause division." Aaron sighed heavily. "Stephen, listen to me. I judge by what I see, not by gossip, and what I see is honesty." His words warmed me, yet the rumors still clawed at my heart. Later, as I left Aaron's house, Emily caught me outside. "Stephen," she said cautiously, "can I ask you something?" I nodded warily. "What is it?" She bit her lip. "Are you really close to my uncle?" Her question stung. "You think I'm using him too?" "No," she said quickly. Caleb talks so much, and sometimes I start wondering." Chest sank. "So even you doubt me?" Emily's voice softened. "I see the way you help him, the way you respect him. But Caleb makes it sound like I'm a thief in disguise." I interrupted. She looked away. "I'm sorry, Stephen. I don't know what to believe." Her honesty hurt more than Caleb's venom. That night, I sat in the dark while Mom sewed by candlelight. "Mom," I whispered, "even Emily doubts me now. What if Aaron starts to believe too?" She paused, her needle trembling. "Then you stand firm. If your heart is clean, no storm can sink you." "But what if kindness isn't enough to fight lies?" I asked bitterly. She looked at me with weary but steady eyes. "Then you endure. You've endured hunger, humiliation. You can endure this too." I clenched my fists. "I'm tired of enduring." What hand touched mine? "But you must. For us. For the truth." A few days later, while fixing a fence for Aaron, I heard laughter nearby. Caleb stood with two men from the village. "See him?" Caleb sneered, pointing at me. "It's working so hard pretending to be loyal. But we know his game." One man chuckled. "Climbing into wealth through pity. Clever boy." The other smirked. "Better than breaking his back like us." I gritted my teeth, hammer shaking in my hand. Aaron's voice called from inside. "Stephen, need any help?" I swallowed hard. "No, sir, I've got it." But my heart raged. I wanted to shout the truth, to expose Caleb's lies. Instead, I nailed the last board and stayed silent. That evening, as we walked home, Mom asked, "What burns in you, son?" I muttered. "Every word they speak, every look they give. I want to fight back." "Fight with fists?" she asked. Calmly. "No," I admitted. "With words, but even words turn against me," she sighed. "Then your silence will speak louder in time." I turned to her, desperate. "But what if silence costs me Aaron's trust?" She met my eyes. "Then you'll know who truly sees you." The next time I met Aaron, he studied me carefully. "Stephen," he said, "I hear the whispers too." My heart stopped. "And do you believe them?" Aaron's eyes softened. "No, but I see they wound you." I swallowed. "They make me feel trapped. Like no matter what I do, I'll always be the beggar's son." Aaron's voice was firm. "To me, you're more than that. Don't let their envy define you. His words should have freed me, but Caleb's shadow still loomed, tightening around me like a rope. That night, as I lay awake, I realized silence was both shield and chain, shielding me from open war, chaining me to unspoken pain. Gleb's betrayal wasn't loud, it was whispered, patient, waiting, and I had no idea how much darker it would become. The news came like a storm. Aaron's business had collapsed. Betrayed by partners he trusted, he lost nearly everything overnight. When I entered his house, I found him sitting in silence, shoulders hunched, papers scattered across the table. "Uncle Aaron," I said softly. He looked up, eyes dull. "Stephen, it's over." My chest tightened. "What happened?" "Partners I trusted sold me out. Deals crumbled. Investors fled. I'm left with debts." He gave a bitter laugh. "Years of work, gone in days." I stepped closer. "You're not alone." He shook his head. "When wealth fades, so do friends. You'll see." That afternoon, Caleb stormed in with Emily trailing behind. "Uncle, is it true?" Caleb demanded. Aaron's voice was low. "It is," Caleb scoffed. "So you've ruined yourself?" "And us, by extension." "Caleb," Aaron warned. "Watch your tone." "No," Caleb snapped. "I won't. While you played generous father to strays, your empire burned." "What's left for us now?" "Nothing," Emily whispered. "Caleb, stop." But Caleb sneered at me. "I suppose you're happy. Beggar's son. Without money, my uncle is just another old man." "Enough," Aaron roared, slamming the table. "Get out!" Caleb's jaw clenched. "You'll regret this. Don't expect me to clean up your mess." He stormed away, dragging Emily with him. Aaron sank back into his chair, trembling. "He's right. I'm ruined," I said firmly. "No. He's blind. You're still the man who saved us." Days grew darker. Creditors came, servants left, and neighbors who once bowed now whispered with scorn. One evening, I caught Aaron staring at the empty pantry. "You haven't eaten all day?" I said. He smiled faintly. "Habit of the proud. We starve in silence." I clenched my fists. "No more silence. You gave us bread when we had none. Now it's my turn." He looked at me with weary eyes. "Stephen, you've already given enough. Not even close," I replied. That night at home, Mom saw me pacing. "What troubles you, son?" she asked. "Aaron," I muttered. "He's broken. Caleb's gone. Everyone's gone." Mom set her needle down. "And what will you do?" I met her gaze. "What he once did for us, I'll stand by him." Her eyes softened. "Then do it with all your heart." The next morning I returned to Aaron's side. He sat by the window, staring at the street where creditors passed. "Uncle," I began, "I can work extra shifts. I can sell some things. Whatever it takes." He shook his head. "Stephen, I won't drag you into my ruin." I sat beside him. "When I was starving, you dragged me out of ruin. Now it's my turn. Let me." His lips trembled. "Why, Stephen? Why stay when even blood abandons me?" I answered without hesitation. "Because you never abandoned me." For a moment his eyes glistened. You speak like a son." That afternoon Emily came quietly. Her face was pale. "Uncle," she said softly, "I'm sorry Caleb spoke so cruelly." Aaron sighed. "He only said what he feels." She turned to me. "But you stayed." I nodded. "Because he stayed for me once," Emily whispered. "Then you're more family than Caleb ever was." Her words stunned me, but Aaron only closed his eyes, whispering perhaps fate has a strange way of choosing blood. Days turned to weeks. I worked small jobs, carried goods, cleaned houses, anything to bring food. Each time I laid bread on Aaron's table, his hand shook. One evening, he looked at me across the candlelight. "Stephen," he murmured, "I can't repay you for this." "You already did," I replied. He frowned. "When?" "The day you walked into our hunger and called us worthy of help." Aaron's eyes filled with tears. You shame me with your loyalty. Oh, I whispered. I honor you with it. One night, when creditors pounded at his door, Aaron collapsed into a chair, face pale. They'll take the house, he whispered. Let them, I said fiercely. Houses can be rebuilt. What matters is that you're still here. His voice cracked. But without wealth, who am I? I placed my hand over his. To me, you're the man who gave me hope when I had nothing. That doesn't vanish with money. Stared at me, silent, then nodded slowly. Later, as I walked home with Mom, she said quietly, I see the change in him. He's weaker yet. Lighter, because you're there. I thought of Aaron's trembling hands, his broken pride. I owe him my life, Mom. I won't let him fall alone. She smiled faintly. Then, perhaps, son, this is your true inheritance. Not his wealth, but his trust. Her words echoed in me. Aaron once looked like an angel descending into my darkness. I saw him as a man, fragile, flawed, and deeply human. But to me, he was still the same angel. I vowed I would not let him fall without wings. The mornings came earlier than they used to. I woke before the sun, laced my worn shoes, and searched for work. Carrying crates, sweeping shops, hauling sacks at the market, and anything that earned a coin. When I came home late, Mom would still be awake, waiting. Stephen, she said one night, her voice gentle, don't wear yourself to the bone. I can't stop now, I answered. He needs me. Her eyes softened with memory. Son, never forget who stood with us when we were alone. What'd you do now? It's not duty, it's gratitude. I nodded, though my body ached. Then I'll give it all. At Aaron's house, things grew quieter. The servants had all gone. Only silence filled the once busy halls. Like Stephen Aaron said as I carried in bread, you don't need to do this. I set the loaf down firmly. Yes, I do. He sighed. Everyone else avoids me, even family. And here you are, giving away your strength. I looked him in the eye, 'cause when I had nothing, you gave me everything. Hey, don't tell me not to repay that. Aaron's lips trembled. He said no more, but his hand lingered on the table, close to mine, as if words failed him. In the marketplace, whispers trailed me. There goes the beggar boy, one man said. Following the old fool into ruin, another muttered, Lebs. Laugh cut through the noise. He strutted toward me, arms folded. Well, well, he sneered, still playing loyal dog. Don't you see? He's finished. You'll drown with him. I kept walking. Better to drown with loyalty than float. With betrayal, Caleb's face darkened. You think this makes you noble? It makes you a fool? I turned, meeting his glare. Maybe, but I'd rather be his fool than your kind of wise. He clenched his fists, but Emily tugged at his sleeve. Caleb, enough. He spat on the ground. Fine, rot with him. Height pounding, but unshaken. That night, I told Mom about the encounter. Caleb mocks me, I said. Says I'll sink with Aaron. Mom placed her hand over mine. Proud mock what they don't understand. Caleb sees wealth as worth. You see loyalty as worth. Which will last longer, my son. I breathed deeply. Loyalty. She smiled faintly. Then stand tall. Even mockery cannot bend a tree rooted in love. The next day, Aaron sat on the porch staring at the sky. You face scorn because of me, he murmured. I don't care, I said. But I do, he whispered. You're young. You could build your own life, yet you tie it to a broken man. I knelt beside him. Cole, I don't see a broken man. I see the one who lifted me from dust. If I build my life, it will be with you in it. His voice cracked. Stephen, why do you speak as though I'm more than a stranger who once gave bread? Because you were never a stranger. You were family the moment you cared. Covered his face, shoulders shaking. You shame me, fave me all at once. Work grew heavier. My hands blistered. My back ached. Yet each time I placed food on Aaron's table, his eyes shone. You shouldn't, he kept saying. I should, I kept replying. One evening, I found him repairing a broken chair. Hands trembled. Let me, I offered, taking the hammer. He chuckled weakly. Look at me, once a man with fleets of workers, now failing to fix a chair. You're not failing, I said, steadying the wood. You're learning again, and I'll learn with you. He watched me hammer, his gaze filled with something deeper than words. A week later, as I carried goods down the road, Caleb appeared again with friends. Still slaving for the fallen king? He mocked. One of his friends laughed.
Does
He pay you in crumbs? I set the sacks down. He pays me with something you'll never understand. Caleb smirked. What's that? Pity? No, I said firmly. Love, trust, the kind you can't buy with gold. For a moment, Caleb's grin faltered. Then he barked a laugh. You're insane. Maybe, I replied, lifting the sacks again, but at least I can sleep at night. I left them behind, their laughter echoing but empty to my ears. That evening, Aaron asked, Why do you keep defending me? I answered simply, Because you once defended me without asking why. He studied me for a long moment, then said, Stephen, I see you not as the boy I helped, but as the son I never had. My breath caught. You mean that? He nodded slowly, more than anything. When the world turned away, you stayed. Blood could not bind stronger than this. I swallowed hard, fighting tears. Then let me carry your name with pride. Aaron reached out, gripping my shoulder with frail strength. Ah! You already do. Later, Mom whispered as I returned home. You look different, son. How? I asked. Stronger, she said. Not because of the work, but because of the love you've chosen. Standing by him has made you a man. I sat beside her, silent for a moment. Mom, I feel it too. Like I'm not just surviving anymore. I'm protecting something sacred. She nodded gently. Yes, and when a man protects love, he becomes unshakable. As the days passed, I stood taller beside Aaron, even when others mocked, even when food was scarce. To them, he was a fallen man. To me, he was family. Nothing, not hunger, not shame, not the world's cruel laughter, could break that bond. Asterisk, the room smelled faintly of medicine and fading life. Aaron lay on the bed, his skin pale, his breathing shallow. I sat beside him, my hand resting near his, afraid to let go. Stephen, he whispered, his voice weak but steady. You're still here. I'll never leave you, I replied. Softly, he tried to smile. Even now, when I have nothing left, shook my head. You've given me more than gold ever could. Mom stepped closer, placing a cloth on his forehead. Rest, Aaron. Don't strain yourself. He turned his tired eyes toward her. No, Maria. I must speak while I can. You both deserve to hear my heart. His breath grew heavier, but he forced his words out. You came to me broken, hungry, and I thought I was saving you. But all this time, you saved me. You gave me loyalty when the world gave me betrayal. I swallowed hard. Don't say it like you're leaving us. Reached for my hand. His grip was frail, yet his warmth remained. Stephen, listen. I may not have years, but I have today. And today, I want you to know you are not just the boy I helped. You are my son. Tears stung my eyes. I don't deserve that title. You earned it when you stayed, he whispered. Family isn't blood. It's who holds you when the world lets go. The door creaked suddenly. Caleb's voice filled the room, sharp and impatient. Uncle, I came as soon as I heard. How are you? Aaron didn't answer right away. He only squeezed my hand tighter. Caleb glanced at me, his lip curling. I see the beggar boy still clings to you. Don't worry, Uncle. I'll take care of everything once. Well, once things pass. Mom stiffened. Show respect, Caleb. He's still breathing. Caleb ignored her. Uncle, you know I'm your blood. It's a property, the land, surely it should remain in the family. Aaron's voice cracked, yet carried strength. It will remain in the family, but not as you expect. Caleb's eyes narrowed. What do you mean? Aaron motioned weakly, toward the table where papers lay. Bring me the documents, Stephen. My hands trembled as I picked them up.
Go.
Are you sure? Yes, he said firmly. This is the moment. Caleb stepped closer, suspicion heavy in his gaze. What are you doing with those papers? Aaron's breathing steadied with determination. It's making my will clear. He signed slowly, his hand shaking, but each stroke deliberate. When he finished, he looked at me. "Stephen stood with me when I had nothing," he declared. "He is my true son. Everything I leave behind belongs to him." The room fell silent. My heart pounded so loud I thought it might break through my chest. Caleb's face turned red. "What nonsense is this? You'd give your estate to him? A stray? A beggar's son?" Aaron's voice cut like steel. "Yes, because he never begged. From me he gave. While you mocked, he carried. While you abandoned, he remained." "Tell me, Caleb, who deserves the name of family?" Caleb slammed his fist against the bed frame. "This is theft. Can't do this to me." "I can," Aaron whispered, "and I have." Mom stepped forward, her eyes blazing. "Caleb, your greed blinds you. Aaron is chosen with clarity. Respect it." Caleb glared at her. "Stay out of this. You and your son have poisoned him." I rose, my voice shaking but firm. "I never asked for this. I never dreamed of it. But I will not let you dishonor him in his final hours." Caleb sneered. "Oh, final hours." "Exactly. He's weak, confused, manipulated by your pretty words." Aaron struggled to lift his head. "I am weak, yes, but not confused. My mind is clearer than yours will ever be." Emily appeared at the door, her voice soft yet steady. "Caleb, stop. Can't you see Uncle has chosen?" Caleb spun toward her. "You too? You'd side with them?" Emily's eyes filled with quiet sorrow. I sighed with truth. "Uncle isn't blind. He knows who stayed and who left." Caleb's fury burned hotter, but he said no more. He stormed out, muttering curses, his footsteps echoing down the hall. The room grew calm again, storm leaving only silence. Aaron looked at me, tears glistening in his fading eyes. "Hey, forgive me if this brings you more burden than blessing." I knelt beside him. "Don't say that. Your love is the only inheritance I ever wanted. The rest I'll carry with honor." Mom brushed his hand gently. "Aaron, you've given us more than life. You've given us family." He closed his eyes briefly, then opened them again with effort. "Then I can leave knowing my heart is safe in your hands." His breathing slowed. Each rise and fall of his chest felt like a countdown I dreaded. "Stephen," he whispered, barely audible, "promise me you'll live with the same mercy I showed you. Pass it on. Let my legacy not be wealth, but love." "I promise," I said, gripping his hand tight. He smiled faintly. "Then I can rest." Minutes passed like hours. His hand grew still in mine. The room fell quiet, save for my own choked sobs. Mom pulled me close, her voice trembling. "Left you his name, his trust, his heart. Wear it proudly, son." I buried my face against her shoulder. "I will, for him." Later, as I stepped outside, the night sky stretched endlessly above me. Caleb's shadow lingered at the edge of the street, his eyes dark with resentment. But I didn't flinch. He shouted, "This isn't over. You'll regret this." I looked. At him, steady. "No, Caleb, you will. Because you lost what mattered most, and it wasn't wealth." He turned away, swallowed by the dark. I stood alone, yet not alone. Aaron's words echoed inside me, alive, eternal. He had called me son, and no one, not Caleb, not the world, not even death could take that away. The morning after, Aaron's final breath felt like the longest day of my life. His house once, alive with his laughter, now sat in a silence that pressed against my chest. I sat at the edge of the dining table, my head buried in my hands. Mom poured tea, her movements quiet, deliberate. "Stephen," she said gently, "you need to eat something." "I can't," I whispered. "It feels wrong to sit here without him." Her hand rested on my shoulder. "Wouldn't want you to starve yourself. Remember what he used to say?" I closed my eyes, hearing his voice echo. "Strength, Stephen, is built one meal at a time." A tear slid down my cheek. "I hear him everywhere, Mom. I don't know how to live without him." "You live with him inside you," she replied softly. "Not without him." The knock on the door broke the moment. heavy, sharp, impatient. I opened it to find Caleb standing there, his jaw tight, papers in his hand. "Stephen," said coldly, "we need to talk." Mom stepped beside me. "Not today. We're mourning." Caleb shoved the papers forward. "Mourn all you like, but I'm contesting that will. My uncle wasn't in his right mind when he signed it. Everyone knows he was manipulated." My blood boiled. Manipulated. "He chose me because you abandoned him," Caleb smirked. "The courts won't see it that way. They'll see a beggar boy tricking a dying man. Enjoy your little fantasy while it lasts." Days turned into weeks of hearings, each one draining. More of my strength in the courtroom. Caleb's lawyer painted me as a leech, a schemer who preyed on Aaron's weakness. He had nothing, the lawyer thundered. And suddenly, he inherits everything. Suspicious, isn't it? Clenched my fists, whispering under my breath, "Stay calm, Stephen. Truth is stronger than lies." Mom squeezed my hand. "Hold on. The truth always shines." When my turn came, I stood before the judge, my voice trembling but steadying with each word. I didn't trick Aaron. He found me when my mother and I had nothing. He gave us food, shelter, and love. But when he lost everything, I stayed. I worked beside him. I defended him when the world spat on him. He called me his son, not out of pity, but because I never left. That is the truth. The judge studied me. "Do you have witnesses?" Emily rose from the benches. "I do," she said firmly. Caleb's head snapped toward her. "Emily, what are you?" She silenced him with a glare. Uncle Aaron trusted Stephen more than anyone. Caleb mocked him, abandoned him, and only returned when money was on the table. If anyone manipulated Uncle, it was Caleb through greed and lies. Yes. Gasps rippled through the room. The judge's voice carried weight. "We have enough testimony to review Caleb's financial dealings. If corruption is found, this case will take a different turn." Caleb paled. "This is outrageous." But evidence soon poured in: documents, accounts, whispers of bribes and debts. Caleb's empire was built not on honor, but deception. The judge delivered the verdict weeks later. The estate rightfully belongs to Stephen. "Caleb, your actions have exposed a history of corruption. Our claims are dismissed." The gavel struck. Mom gripped my arm, tears streaming down her face. "He won, Stephen. Justice won." I nodded slowly, my heart racing. But the victory felt heavy, not sweet. After the trial, Caleb cornered me outside the courthouse, his face twisted with rage. "You think you've won?" he spat. "This was mine. It should always have been mine." I stared at him, steady. "You lost because you only cared about wealth." Aaron wanted loyalty. That's something you never gave him. His eyes burned. "You'll regret this. Mark my words." I shook my head. "No, Caleb. The only one who should regret anything is you." He stormed away, swallowed by the crowd, his shadow no longer looming over me. Weeks passed. The property was mine now. Papers bore my name. But every time I walked through the house, I felt his absence more than his wealth. I sat with Mom one evening on the porch, watching the sun dip. Below the horizon, "Stephen," she said, her voice gentle, "how do you feel now that all this is over?" I sighed. Empty. Everyone talks about what I inherited, but all I feel is what I lost. She placed her hand on mine. "Son, look at me. We were once hungry, broken, invisible, but now we have more than food or shelter. We have dignity, respect, and a father who chose us." Her words pierced me, filling my chest with warmth and ache all at once. "You're right, Mom. He chose us. It's something Caleb will never understand." One morning I found myself standing at the edge of the cemetery, the grass cool beneath my shoes. Aaron's grave lay before me, the stone freshly carved. Aaron Matthews. A man of mercy, a father by choice. I knelt, my hand brushing the cold. "Stone." "Hi, Dad," I whispered. The word felt strange on my lips, yet so right. "I don't know if I'll ever stop missing you, but I want you to know I'll carry your name with honor. I'll guard your legacy the way you guarded us." The wind stirred gently as if answering. "I promise, Dad. I continued, my voice trembling. I'll make you proud, always. Tears blurred my vision, but I didn't wipe them away. They weren't just grief, they were gratitude. Gratitude for food when we starved. Gratitude for kindness when we were forgotten. Gratitude for love that made us family. I pressed my palm against the stone, my voice breaking. You weren't my father by blood, but you were my father by choice. And that means more than anything. The silence around me felt alive, filled. With his presence, I stood, my heart heavy yet steady. The world outside the cemetery waited, but I no longer feared it. I had his strength, his mercy, his name, and I would carry them not as a burden, but as a gift. As I walked back toward Mom, who waited at the gates, I felt the weight of both loss and love. Caleb's shadow was gone. The hunger of our past was gone. What remained was something far greater, a bond forged not by blood, by choice, a father's legacy, a son's vow, and a promise whispered to the wind. I will make you proud, Dad, always.